Hey guys, just a quick note before the video. We have a new t-shirt out now, The Anatomy of Two Gryphon, because you know what good even is clothing if it's not pointing out specific parts of my anatomy, so the whole world can examine all of my junk. You guys seem to like it when I release new merch, so I thought I'd let you know about this. It comes in all sizes and colors, and you can even get it on a hoodie if you want. So if you want one of these, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Hope you enjoy the video. It is time to read your comments, bitch! We are back, and don't ask where we went because you don't want to know. All I can say is that it was very moist and it smelled like head cheese. There was a guy named Chad there. I almost came back pregnant! But in spite of all that, we are back now in a new location, in a new studio, and I am looking forward to reading your comments again because I love doing it. I love it more than sauce. SpinX22 says, "Hey two, what kind of pizza toppings do you like?" Well, pepperoni is good, and beef, and Italian sausage, bacon, onion. Honestly, I like all kinds of pizza toppings, but my very, very favorite is the blood of my enemies and the tears of small children. They actually have those on special at Domino's right now. Foxyfox says, "Hey two, if the world was about to end, but you could choose the manner in which it did so, what would you choose?" Horse dick apocalypse, 100%. Global storm of horse dicks raining down on everyone and slapping people in the face until the entire population of Earth ejaculates itself to death. If that's in the Bible, you know, like for real. Azurus Nova says, "Dear two, being that I've followed you since the beginning of your 2 cents days, it's become harder to ask you a question you don't seem to know. But if there is anything you wish you knew, what would that be?" I wish I knew what comedy is. And I know that sounds stupid, but making people laugh and laughing, the whole concept, it's not fully understood even by science. We don't really know why people laugh. As a comedian, we get pretty good at like guessing what people will find funny by thinking about what we find funny, but in the end, it's all really still guesswork and practice. All a comedian really is someone who wants to explore what comedy is by telling jokes and making people laugh and trying to figure out what makes it all work the way it does. And if I knew the nature of comedy, then I could make as many people possible laugh every single time I wanted to, and to me, that would be something I'd give up almost anything for. I wonder, you know, they say that if you want to know the true nature of something, you have to stick your finger up its ass. Does comedy have an asshole? Oh, that's Carlos Mencia. Haskell says, "Dear two, has anyone really been far even as decided to use even go want to do look more like?" I really haven't mentioned beyond the past works of when our sins went further to face the ultimate fortitude of Buddha testicles, so I can't own it without continuing harassment of mental twisting cat nipples. Tide Pods. William Mattis says, "If someone offered you $100 million not to eat bacon for a year, no matter what, would you?" Oh, absolutely. I could go without eating bacon for a year, and then I'd take that $100 million and I'd use it to buy an island-sized bacon made out of bacon. And I'd invite you all over, and you could all come over and hang out with me, and well, unless you're Muslim, then you probably wouldn't want, you know, I'll make a tiny island of hummus just for you guys. Sierra Mike 95 says, "Hey two, what's the best and worst part of running a gaming channel on YouTube?" That's a tough one. Well, okay, the best part for me is doing the actual work. You know, making the videos, being creative, doing the editing and the production, and just being creative, and the reactions from and the feedback from all you guys. That, I really love that part about it. The worst part about it is all the YouTube bureaucracy. I mean, pretty much half of doing YouTube is fighting with YouTube over everything. False copyright claims and demonetization and what you can and can't say and what you can and can't put up. Oh, that video's okay today, but tomorrow, oh, what's that doing here? No, we can't have that on the site. Get rid of it. And then you make a video where you're cursing like a sailor with Tourette's, and that's just fine. And then next you put up a video of a puppy and demonetized, child restricted, what and all of the fuck. You never know what's gonna be okay and what's not, and YouTube is very good at not telling you what they're going to actually punish you for. So that would be the worst part of it for me, but outside of that, it's mostly all good. I love doing it. Sonoflare Fulf says, "Two, what spices would go great in baby stew?" Well, what I do sometimes is I add eye of newt and wing of bat, and then I put it in a cauldron and stir it all around. Then I feed it to a dog who runs around in circles and shits itself to death, then turns into a demon who offers me one more successful YouTube video in exchange for sex. But also garlic. Garlic works well too. Toriu says, what do you consider to be the most defining moment of your life? See, that's a hard one because you do something almost every day that is going to determine what the rest of your life is going to be like. But if I had to pick one moment, I would say that it was the very first time I stood up in front of the small congregation that my father preached at and delivered a small sermon because I could see that it moved people. I could see that the words that I was saying, that I could make people feel intrigued or fearful or joyful, or I could influence their emotions and make them feel something. And I think it was that moment that I realized that I wanted to use my voice to make people laugh and smile. And without that moment in my life, I may not have wound up here, talking about demon sex and horse dick apocalypse. And it's all thanks to Jesus. Thank you, Jesus! Logan Surprise says, if you could make your own pizza and have it named after you, what kind of pizza would it be? Ranting Gryphon pizza. You know, I think it'd probably have to be a pizza made out of ghost peppers, barbed wire, and Chuck Norris fists, because that's probably what it'd be like to take a bite out of my soul. Casey Greenberg says, so too, on the case of getting old, I've started to feel it coming into my life. Please tell me, when did you first realize that you're old, and what was that realization? What changed for you in your life or in society that you're in? I think I first realized I was old the first time I accidentally took a shit and was able to suck it back up. You know you're no spring chicken anymore when you're able to take a reverse shit. From that point on, no one would allow their smaller pets around me. I'm not really sure why. Marcus Fox says, hey, quick question. What do you think about when you're daydreaming? P.S. I loved your accent, Anthracon. I think of space! Seriously, though, I really do. Whenever I'm daydreaming, it's either about some comedy material I want to do, or it's about being in space. As a matter of fact, nothing puts me to sleep faster at night than actually imagining myself being on a ship or a space station in space and going about my normal life, you know, with the job that I would have and the bedroom or the quarters I'd sleep in, and just imagining all that. I just drift right off to sleep. For some reason, that's just really comfortable for me. I want to be Space Burb. Ashley Carter says, hey, basically you and Telephone alone were enough to get me interested in the fandom, and it's scary, please help. Oh, no, we have you now. You have crossed the furry event horizon, and there is no escape anymore.
The only thing left for you to do is to embrace the scary. Give yourself over to the scary side. Rub the scary against your supple nipples and thank Great Giraffe
that your life will never be uninteresting again. Because for real, once you're in the furry fandom, you will never have another uninteresting day in your life. Can't say it'll all be good, but whether it's happily dancing around in the middle of a bunch of cartoon animals or being terrified to the core of your being at looking at the front page of Fur Affinity, you'll never be bored again. And guys, that is all we have for today. Thanks for sending in these comments for me to read. I really love doing it. And if you want to leave a comment for me to read in the next Reading Your Comments video, just leave it in the comments down below this video, because that's where I get all of the comments for this series. It feels great to be back, and I look forward to answering more of your comments soon. So guys, thank you for hanging out with me today, and we will meet again in the next Emanation. Until then,